Bonjour niños and welcome to another video. Today's video we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to look at this terrible video about this pastor who was referred to Prevent, which if you don't know is an anti-terrorist organisation. He was reported to it by a school, and I just thought it'd be interesting to look at, considering it's Pride Month, and also this happened at the school that I used to go to. So, well, hey, without further ado,
I never ever thought that giving a sermon would lead to me being dismissed and reported for prevent and safeguarding and treated in such a way.
at the end of the day, I don't care how woke a school pretends to be or anything other than like that. If you give a respectable sermon with nothing controversial in it, which you shouldn't really be doing at a school anyway, controversial, then you're not going to get purported to Prevent, because at the end of the day, Prevent are there to stop terrorists and people who are extremists, And a rather controversial one at that. Whether you liked him or not really depended on person to person, but the people we had beforehand, they were pretty unanimously well liked. He was the first real chaplain to come in to sort of, I don't know, not be very well liked by quite a lot of people at the school.
My role in the school as chaplain was to talk about the Christian faith, mostly just trying to commend Christianity without forcing it. And I was always very clear, please listen to what I'm saying, please think about what I'm saying, and then make up your own mind.
So long as it fits within our Christian perspective, otherwise you can get out of here, you dirty little heathen.
Back in the late summer term of 2018, there was mention of a group called Educate and Celebrate coming and doing diversity training. And I thought, okay, I'm not sure what that is. I might just do a quick internet search. And it very quickly became clear to me that this was an organisation which has a very strongly pro-LGBT agenda.
It's the way that he says gender here that really annoys me, because he's making it out like this is some big agenda, big gay is coming for your children, when realistically they're more just like, okay, so we have an issue with this specific thing that schools do, so we want to come and give a diverse, different perspective on it. But because he's stuck in his everything revolves around what I believe it to revolve around mindset, he doesn't want to so much as hear this, So the gays, they have enough, We acknowledge their existence at the minute. We don't accept them. We don't support their marriage, but we're acknowledging their existence. Why are they not happy with this? Why are they forcing their agenda on us?
The idea that they wanted to smash heteronormativity struck me. I know that's a very strong expression. That's very loaded. Smashing things that felt very political.
I could maybe understand the point about it being too political coming from somebody like a teacher or maybe a student. But at the end of the day, this is a school. This is a place for learning about all different political sides, about all different faiths and stuff. I think it's a bit rich for a pastor or a father or whatever he is. I don't know the correct word for it. I don't particularly care to look it up. But I think it's a bit rich of him to come and say, this is too political, when his main job is to preach religion to children.
So I was uncertain about how to deal with that, but I thought, well, look, I believe in freedom of speech and people having their own opinions. So Ellie Barnes, the CEO of Educate and Celebrate, came and did a training session with staff, and it really confirmed everything that I thought might be problematic about it.
So I reckon most forward-thinking, normal people in this situation, when they find out that students are concerned about the LGBT ideology being taught towards them, would be to explain that, this is not an ideology or something. This is, human rights. This is what these people believe they're fighting for, is their God-given right to be who they are on the planet that they were born on, something like that. I wonder how he's going to handle it, because this seems so far to be nice and well measured, well rounded, and completely respectful.
That was sarcasm!
Every summer term, thinking about the topics for the sermons for that term, I would ask pupils to suggest ideas. One of the pupils said to me, "Sir, do you have any slots left in your topics?" And I said, "Yes, I have got one." He said, "Can you talk about how come we're told we have to accept these LGBT ideas in a Christian school?"
Because, little Timmy, thousands of people have died trying to get these rights, which they are fighting so desperately to hold on to, amid waves and waves of incoming homophobia, hatred, bigotry, and misunderstanding. So we have to show that we accept them as people. You don't always have to agree with everything everybody says, but you have to be willing to stand up for their rights. I'm sure this is what he said, and he didn't say anything else that was completely stupid.
This is the sermon I gave in June. You might be concerned that if you take the religious view on these matters, you will be attacked and accused of homophobia and the like.
It's really dependent on the religious viewpoint that you're taking. If you're saying, Jesus said, love thy neighbour as thyself, therefore I love these people as I do love myself, and they can live their life in peace with whoever they love for the rest of their days, then you're not going to be branded a homophobe. However, if you are one of those people saying that homosexuality is wrong, if you engage in homosexual activity, then you should be put to death, or that you're going to burn in the fiery pits of hell, or that I don't believe in gay marriage because it's between a man and a woman, then you probably will be branded a homophobe, because get what? You've said something homophobic.
But remember that religious belief is just as protected in law as sexual orientation.
There is no competing ideologies. It's very weird that this is called competing ideologies as a sermon. The only thing that's competing is bigotry versus love. Like, at the end of the day, LGBT is about who you are and who you love. That's it. They're not trying to get all these corporations to become big gay. Like, big gay doesn't exist. He needs to get that through his head.
And no one has the right to discriminate against you or be abusive towards you. I couldn't comprehend how I'd done anything so wrong.
Probably because you were just like, I believe we should respect all people, but at the end of the day, it's fine if you completely disagree with people's fundamental human rights to just exist and love who they love and not affecting you. Because if that's your religion, that's okay.
Oh, the gays don't need rights.
That I needed to be suspended. Ruffled a few feathers, maybe. But then as a Christian minister, sometimes that's your job.
Do I even need to say anything about that clip? No. Good.
This is not complicated.
Yeah, okay, that was definitely well too far. Maybe suspending him was the right call. Reporting him to a terrorist watchdog was probably a bit much. I don't think he's going to go around bombing LGBT centres and going to Pride waving a picket. I just think he's more one of those, quietly, slightly homophobic people that, sometimes lets their bigotry out a bit, Not a nice thing by any means, and he shouldn't get off scot-free. Reporting him to a terrorist watchdog is definitely a bit much.
I can't really remember exactly how I reacted, because it was just so mind-blowing. The fear, are you going to have the police breaking in your front door at 6 o'clock in the morning and dragging you off and seizing all the computers in the house and turning it upside down, searching for evidence, or
FBI, open up!
And that sounds extreme, and of course, in reality, I didn't for a moment believe that could happen. But if the world is mad enough to say that a Church of England minister talking about the Church of England's beliefs is an extremist, a violent extremist, if it's mad enough to say that in the first place, someone else might be mad enough to act on it.
Let's not pretend that you were talking about, oh, how was the world formed, that sort of Christian belief. You were actively trying to undermine an entire community's, and I'm going to keep saying this because it is what it is, fundamental human rights to just exist.
I wanted to give the school every opportunity to admit that they'd got some things wrong. Even if they didn't admit everything was wrong, I offered so many times mediation, conciliation, let's sit down and talk about this. But sometimes there comes a point where you just have to say you've had enough chances, now it's time to speak out. Now it's time, as it were, to be a whistleblower, to speak the truth. I've got a legal case coming up to challenge the school on the way they've treated me, the fact that they've discriminated against me for being religious. I was too religious for them in a Christian school.
A little bit about me. I went to this school as well as a Catholic school, and I can tell you right now, this school that he's talking about here is not a religious school, as he keeps on trying to say. It's not a Christian school. It has Christian values, but there is a difference. This wasn't explicitly a Christian school where it would only really let in Christians apart from on appeal or something. This was a school predominantly about education or sports, depending on who you ask, but religion was more of an afterthought. It wasn't central to the running of the school like it is at something like a Catholic school. So what he's trying to say here is silly, and also discriminated against because of your religious experiences and being religious. Come on, my guy. That's not why. You weren't discriminated against. You said something and you had to suffer consequences for it. This isn't cancel culture or any woke bullshit like that. This is literally you trying, and I'm going to say it again, we can all say it, I'm going to say the line, trying to undermine people's fundamental human rights to exist in peace.
Now, when ideologies compete, we should not descend into abuse. We should respect the beliefs of others, even where we disagree. Above all, we need to treat each other with respect, not personal attacks. That's what loving your neighbour as yourself means.
Now you might be thinking, oh, that sermon didn't sound too bad. Clearly you're just a woke leftist who's getting offended at everything, you gosh darn snowflake. But first of all, would you go up to a black man and say, I don't really agree with the fact that you're not slaves anymore, but I respect it, so I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm just going to silently seethe in the back. No, you wouldn't. You would tell them, you would explain to them that it's not okay to be a dickhead purely because your little book says it's okay to be a dickhead to certain people that haven't done anything to you. It doesn't involve you, so let them live in peace. Second of all, the group that he's with, Christian Concerned, are a nasty bunch of people. Not only are they in favour of gay therapy, gay conversion therapy. Oh, that lovely thing that's getting outlawed, finally. They said stuff like, oh, if gay conversion therapy goes, then the pews will be next, and some other bollocks that they're waffling on about. These people are nasty individuals who hate gay people. That's why I'm making this video, and what proves to me that this person was trying to undermine the LGBT community, because if he was truly about respect, he would have gone with an organisation that wasn't so outwardly hateful towards gay people. So, yeah, I'm going to throw up a few examples on the screen. I'll leave some links below. No, in fact, I won't leave any links below. They can bugger off if they want any sort of attention that's not me just talking about how shite they are. They are a horrible, nasty organisation. They're not... You could even make the arguments they're not proper Christians. They don't love people. They are just hateful. You can see them on stuff like Question Time, their leader is hateful, the people that they feature, most of them are hateful, and they actively celebrate when gay pastors start talking about how when they love their partner and they do stuff with them, then it's a sin in the eyes of God, so they don't do it. So this is going to be the end of the video for me. Sorry it was so serious, I just had to get this off my chest because it was a case that's very close to me, but normal videos will be resuming soon, hopefully. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you. If you did enjoy, please subscribe, and I shall see you all later.